individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today, former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Cosa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchesi crime families.
In some instances, players altered their performance or took themselves out of games to make sure that those bets paid out. One example occurred on March 23rd, 2023 in Charlotte. Terry Rozier, an NBA player now with the Miami Heat, but at the time playing for the Hornets, allegedly let others close to him know that he planned to leave the game early with a supposed injury. Using that information, members of the group placed more than $200,000 in wagers on his under statistics. Rozier exited the game after just 9 minutes, and those bets paid out, generating tens of thousands of dollars in profit. The proceeds were later delivered to his home, where the group counted their cash. As the NBA season tips off, his career is already benched, not for injury, but for integrity.
How many times, for one incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming? He's coming. I'm going to say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there, looking to engage in mass deportations. The Super Bowl, disrupting things. Big night for the NBA. Wembanyama put on a show. That has now been smeared because we're talking about this story.
Yeah, down the street. By the way, this was so wild. Stephen A. Smith, the sports commentator, suggested that this was revenge from the president for all the kind of left-wing activism of the NBA. Your response to that, 15 seconds.
I'm the FBI director. I decide which arrests to conduct and which not to conduct. That may be the single dumbest thing I've ever heard out of anyone in modern history, and I live most of my time in Washington, D.C. It's right up there with Adam Schiff. We arrest people for crimes.
What's up, y'all? Gerald here, creator of Gospel Chops and your host for this YouTube channel, back with another video. Now, y'all, we gotta spend a few minutes talking about this new NBA scandal because I can't log on to YouTube without finding some creator somewhere promoting some betting app, some gambling app, somewhere where they want you to put your money on the line for some sport, whether it be football, basketball, anything that's going on in the sporting world. They want you to put your hard-earned money on the line. And it turns out, y'all, that the FBI, under the direction of Kash Patel, has uncovered a new crime ring. And it may not be so new because we find out that some of this stuff has been going on since 2023, since the investigation was open. That these people have been rigging games. These people have been exposing internal information from the league. These people have been cheating only to enrich people that they owe, including La Cosa Nostra. Yeah, Kash Patel got out here and he told the mafia's involved. The young Negroes are involved. The players are involved. The coaches are involved. Everybody seems to be involved, and yet you find every content creator on them folks' platform trying to get you to put your money on the line. They're reading ads. They're trying to get you to bet on everything from horses to basketball players. And here we are with the uncovering of a situation that involves Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, Terry Rozier. Not just coaches, but players who are throwing games And it makes me wonder, as a person who lives out here in California, I look at a certain player and say, why are you the one with the most technicals in the league? Why are you always the one every year to get thrown out of games for technicals? Why are you the one with the reputation for kicking people in the groin and throwing fouls that don't need to be thrown? Flagrants more than anyone else in the league. Maybe you should be investigated, because maybe this ain't accidental, bruh. Maybe you are out here working for someone with nefarious motives. You see where this goes, y'all? It throws the whole league into question. Don't put your money on these games. If you have been, you need to stop. And you shouldn't have been doing it in the first place, because that's just stupid. But putting your hard-earned money on the line for these games that have been rigged for many, many years. Now you are beginning to see, because of a new administration with a new FBI. And people want to get out here like a Stephen A. Smith and blame the Trump administration. No, this investigation was going on since 2023, Stephen A. Who was the president then, Stephen A.? Who started this investigation, Stephen A.? Now it's just coming to the forefront, as it should. And now people are coming to realize that they have lost millions upon millions of dollars on all these betting apps that are pushed upon you. Every time you turn on a YouTube video and click play, some content creator is reading an ad for a betting app. And you have lost so much money for some of these things that are rigged. I'm glad that it's being exposed. But here goes Stephen A. out here caping for his masters, for his handlers, and he trying to tell you that you shouldn't believe your lying eyes. Don't believe what you see. Believe what the left-wing liberals tell you. Boy, America's in a bad place.
New reaction to the federal arrests of current and former NBA figures Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, and Damon Jones. And just a short time ago, the NBA Players Union released a statement that says, in part, the integrity of the game is paramount, but so is the presumption of innocence. Both are hindered when player popularity is misused. All of this, of course, involves alleged illegal activity that involves either sports betting or rigged poker games run by the mafia.
Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Cosa Nostra, to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchesi crime families.
And we're joined now by CNN legal analyst and former federal prosecutor Elliot Williams. It's really significant who is involved here, first off.
It's so significant who's involved. Terry Rozier, current NBA player. Chauncey Billups, and this sort of hits me hard. We're exactly the same age. I've watched him for, and again, these are just allegations. Nothing has been proven yet. But what we're hearing about from someone who was NBA Finals MVP is quite significant. And Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach. Now, notably, the other folks who are named, and the FBI director noted them here, are the 4 of the 5 major crime families in New York organized crime: Gambino, Genovese, Lucchesi, and Bonanno. They ran this network of really high-stakes poker games we're going to talk about in a second.
Okay, so let's talk about each operation, starting with Operation Royal Flush.
And you know, law enforcement loves the fancy names.
Love a good one.
And it's a good one. This is a good one. Operation Royal Flush. This is truly bonkers, Brianna, what happened. Let's talk through some of the mechanisms to defraud people of money that happened here. You had rigged shuffling machines that could count cards and determine, does Brianna have an ace? Does Elliot have 2 4s or whatever? And then transmit a message as to what people have in their hand, were holding on to card-wise. Secret signals between people who were in the room. Electronic poker chip trays that could secretly read cards that were on the table. You had eyeglasses and contact lenses that could indicate and could sort of read what someone had in their hands and analyzing cards. All of this is a way of tracking who had what in their hands, sending signals to people who were either in the room or out of the room, and taking people's money. You're talking about up to $7 million some of the time that was here, right?
If you are into the names here, though, the next one's even better, which is Operation Nothing But Bet.
Nothing but bet. And this is an illegal betting scheme, an alleged illegal betting scheme based on NBA games. Now, the big thing here that's jumped out to me in the indictment was this idea of non-public information. Now, if court watchers will know that's the language of insider trading. And when you're talking about trading on information that everybody in the world doesn't have, nobody has access to, but you are using to enrich yourself on. And here, information for bets as to how someone's going to perform in a game. Like, am I going to go out in the third period or whatever else, telling people that information in advance and betting a lot of money on it.
Knowing someone is sick, right? If you know that at the last minute because you are a player or you are friends with someone or you've heard something.
Yeah, another big one here, and this should jump out to everybody. The defendant, one of the defendants, Damon Jones, sends this text message to co-conspirator 9, writing, "Get a big bet on Milwaukee tonight before the information's out. Player 3, pay attention to that name." It's good. It's white, whatever. Play attention to that name. Bet enough so D. Jones can eat too sick. Now, player 3, someone who did not play in that game, LeBron James, believed to be LeBron James, who is player 3. So they were trading on what they knew about players who might have been in and out of this game.
That is wild. And walk us through the charges here.
These are really serious charges. And remember, I used the term insider trading before. This is white collar crime in its truest sense. Wire fraud, which is the use of phones and electronic media to transact in illegal activity. Robbery, extortion, money laundering, and illegal gambling is charged in these indictments. This is serious stuff. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty, but the mere allegations ought to send a chill down the spine of every NBA fan, including any sports fan.
But when it comes to Trump, this is not about that. This is about the integrity of the league. This is about impugning their integrity. This is about making things a bit messy and inconvenient. And whoever has to suffer, so be it. And why? Because people came after him. I've said before, vengeance, retribution. The man ain't playing. And this is not me casting aspersions, making judgment, or doing anything on anybody's side. I'm just telling you what I know. The man ain't playing. The National Football League decides to elect Bad Bunny as its halftime entertainment. And shortly thereafter, we saw the Department of Homeland Security saying they have every intention of attending the Super Bowl, of being at the Super Bowl, outside the Super Bowl in Santa Clara, where they will be waiting for people trying to come to the Super Bowl, looking to engage in detainment and ultimately mass deportation. You got rumors in the hip-hop industry and the music industry where Bad Bunny is telling his folks, because he's from Puerto Rico, don't bother coming with me, because he don't want them to cause he don't want to cause them any problems. Trump knows this, don't care. You got the NBA now with this on immediately following opening night. It's not like some superstar was named in all of this, y'all. This is Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier. But it didn't stop them from having a press conference at 10 a.m. to make sure that ABC had it, and First Take had it, and the sports world had it, to let you know what's coming down the pike, because he's coming. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. It wouldn't surprise me at all if the WNBA is next. Protest, verbiage, we ain't judging. Let me be very, very clear. We're not saying that folks don't have a right to protest. We're not saying that everybody needs to be agreeable with him. We're not saying that you got to co-sign everything he wants to do ideologically and beyond. That's not what we're saying. What I'm saying to you is that being entrenched in this political stratosphere that we're living in now, it's not the policy stuff. It's when folks call him a felon. It's when folks wanted to put him in jail. It's what he perceives as an absolute abuse of power for him playing a game and mastering a game that the political apparatus had been playing for decades. But you tried to lock him up for the rest of his life. I'm telling you what has been told to me personally by people who have spoken to him. He's coming. He's not playing. Folks thought it was going to stop at John Bolton, his former national security advisor, or Letitia James, the New York Attorney General, or Jack Smith, one of the prosecutors that went after him, or somebody like that, or James Comey, the former FBI director. That's politics. He's not stopping there. He's coming. And oh, by the way, it's going to be worse this year. Why? Because he understands that there's a possibility he might lose the midterms. And that the power that he can wield now, having the support of those in the House and the Senate on Capitol Hill, might not be something he enjoys after the 2026 midterm elections. This is a sports show. We're talking sports. I'm talking about the NFL. I'm talking about the NBA. I'm talking about the WNBA. He's coming. He's coming. Whole kneeling with the protests. Whole locking of arms. In his eyes, folks abused power and cost him the election in 2020. One that he swears was rigged. And he's on the loose. This is what's going on right now. This is why I sit up there and I say, against the wishes of so many people, like, listen, when somebody does something right, be fair. Just mention it. If something went right with Israel and Hamas and he did something right, give him credit for it. If you ain't totally against closing the borders, say so. Say something. Because most of the stuff we're going to say, we're not going to be kind about it, because a lot of people, tens of millions of people in this country, don't like what we're seeing, and we shouldn't like what we're seeing. But at least it's along the lines of politics and life, as opposed to him walking around acting like somehow, some way, there was an abuse of power that was exercised just to target him. And now it's his turn, because that's what he's saying to people. Don't kill a messenger. Don't kill a messenger. I'm just giving you the message. I'm telling you what I know.
And there you have it, y'all. Did you see what I saw? Because the powers that be are going to unleash everything they have in their arsenal to try to combat this, because this is so detrimental to the league, so detrimental to the National Basketball Association that is working over there in China. As much as we know, you and I, because we have these conversations on this channel, we know that China is an enemy of America, but the NBA has been working for years to find inroads over there in China, including the leaders of the league, who shall remain nameless at this point. But people have reported that if you say something against a certain person who got his son involved in the league, well, you're going to get a phone call. Somebody going to call you and say, hey, stop talking bad about this individual. You know, he and his camp control the game, control the trademarks, control the league, control the IP. They are the NBA. Okay, if that's what it is, then let it be what it be. But if this investigation comes down your street and uncovers some things in your past or in your present, then you got to deal with that, bruh. Because we all know it was a fishy situation that your son got into the league undeservingly. Look at his college stats. Look at his NBA stats. They know he ain't worthy. But certain people control the decision-making under this brand, under this league. We know what's going on. Maybe the investigation hasn't led to you as of yet. It has caught some low-level NBA players and coaches. But according to Shannon Sharp, in his review of this situation, him and Ocho, they understand that it might run much deeper than that. But you got people like Stephen A. Smith that are under your thumb. You control the narrative, so they get out here and say whatever you want them to say. And Stephen A. Smith couldn't resist getting out here and blaming Donald Trump for this situation. No, this investigation did not begin under Donald Trump. But it may end justly under the Trump administration. And it will further put Stephen A. Smith out here as someone that the black community, the blackity blacks, should not trust. Don't listen to this man. Don't trust this man. Don't even watch this man. Because we are seeing in real time what Stephen A. Smith represents. He came out here not long ago trying to promote values that are important to the community. And somebody got on his head. And he came back out here on this internet and reeled it back so fast. Boy, we can't trust nothing you say. Because we know that you pledge allegiance to the Democrat plantation. Not the party, but the plantation. You're going to do what they want you to do. You're going to say what they want you to say. Even when you get out here in a moment of independence, in a moment of masculinity, and you say what you feel, you say what's on your heart, they make you reel it back on in because they got something on you. Whether it's your paycheck, whether it's your integrity, whether it's your manhood. Yeah, the liberal mob has something on you. So we don't believe you, we don't trust you, and we ain't watching you no more, let alone supporting you in the least. Stephen A. Smith has come out in this instance where these Negroes have got caught up in the bed with the mafiosos, La Costa Nostra. They have been out here. And you say, I've seen people on the media say, hey, why are they outing these blackity black NBA players? And they said they arrested over or charged over 30 people. How come the other names haven't been released? Well, these are the names you might know. The blackity blacks, the prominent ones, the ones that they got in position to risk it all, their careers, their legacy, their families, in bed with the mafia. Yeah, these were the dummies. So let's parade these dummies out here in the streets because these other gentlemen, you might not know them at all, although they are associated with big-time crime families in New York City. New York City? Yeah. These blackity black dummies were so uninformed, so uneducated that they got in bed with the wrong people. This investigation has gone on for years. They got all the goods on you. Don't expect to get out of this unscathed. And here we are, y'all, with Stephen A. Smith, the voice of the left, the voice of the liberals. The voice of the crazy left wing has got out here opining on situations where he ain't got no intelligence, no business. Fall back, bro. Because we already seen your spine is like a wet noodle out here in the streets. You don't stand for nothing. You're a fence-sitting left-winger. Fall back, Stephen A. And let these brothers face justice as they should face, because so many Americans have gotten out here and risked their hard-earned money betting on games that they thought were authentic, only to find out that these Negroes have been out here missing free throws on purpose. These Negroes have been out here throwing bad passes on purpose. These Negroes have been out here committing flagrant fouls and getting thrown out of games, sitting out of games on purpose. All the while you lose your hard-earned money. No, we see what it is now. And Stephen A can't cap for the league. Stephen A can't cap for ESPN or Disney. Stephen A can't cap for the Blackity Blacks. We know what it is now. And if you know what it is, I need you to comment down below and let me know how you feel about this. How much money have you lost as these folks are out here rigging games, missing shots, missing passes on purpose, sitting out of games on purpose, so that certain people can be enriched and certain people like you can lose everything? There is no integrity in the game, and it has now been exposed. And for somebody like a Stephen A. Smith to get out here caping for it, boy, you need to go have several seats, because we ain't out here listening to it no more. Thank God in heaven above that it has been exposed and brought to our attention. Y'all let me know what you think about this. I'd love to know your thoughts, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video so we can get more people involved in the conversation, yo. And like I always say, always remember and never forget, without the gospel, it's just chops. Until next time, peace.